Hey guys, what's going on? Steggy here, and today I have a review for you the Q3HD video recorder from Zoom. Now, Zoom isn't really a household brand name like Sony or Apple, but to those who do know Zoom, they are a very highly regarded company for their audio products. Now, the product that I always think of in my mind when I think of Zoom is the H4n audio recorder. This audio recorder is basically a staple for amateur filmmakers because you have high quality microphones, you have XLR inputs for other microphones, you have a whole lot of recording options to record right to an SD card so you can edit it and everything. It's just a really solid audio recorder. Now the problem is that this audio recorder costs $300, and for just recording audio, that's a bit of a hard pill to swallow. So what if you could at least take the high quality microphones from that product and put video onto it? So that's what Zoom decided to do with the Q3HD video recorder. Now this is the recorder right here, and it looks just like your standard flip video camera, except if you notice up top it's got two microphones in a cage. Now these are the same microphones that you'd find in the H4n audio recorder, except in addition to it you have the 1080p video or 720p video at 60 frames per second it can go up to. So priced at the same $300 as its audio only brother, how does the Q3HD stack up against the flips or the bloggies out there? Well, if you want to find out, stick past the break. Alright, so let's start off with the design first. The Samsung Q3HD follows the standard flip style video camera look. On the front you have a fixed lens and the battery door, and on the back you have a simple layout. You have a directional pad surrounding a record and stop button, and above the D-pad you have the play, menu, and delete buttons. The biggest thing that visually sets the Q3HD apart from the flips or the bloggies out there are the microphones on top. The same microphones you find in the Zoom H4n audio recorder sit on top of the Q3HD, housed in a cage and in an XY configuration. While the H4n allows you to move the microphones, on the Q3HD they are fixed in place. While it makes the Q3HD appear quite tall in comparison to the other flip-style video recorders, the camera is still very pocket-friendly. The Q3HD also has a slew of inputs on the side, which further its versatility in recording. In addition to the built-in microphones, the Q3HD has a line-in jack, just in case you need to attach a 3.5mm shotgun microphone for an interview in a loud environment, or a stick microphone, or a lavalier microphone, etc. You also get a headphone jack that you can use to monitor your audio while you're shooting, as well as when you're playing back your videos. Other than that, you have a pop-out USB dongle to get files off the Q3HD, and then you have a DC power jack. Now the DC power adapter is sold separately in the Q3HD accessory pack, but I'll be mentioning that later on. And other than that, you have a TV and an HDMI output. Now I want to talk a little bit about build quality. The Samsung Q3HD is surprisingly light. This helps in the portability factor so you don't have the camera weighing you down. Traveling with a camera proved to be no issue, though if you are one who wears skinny jeans, you won't have the same luck I did. My only gripe about traveling with the Q3HD is that the screen doesn't offer any real scratch resistance, meaning that scuffs and scratches were visible within weeks of testing. If you end up purchasing the Q3HD, I would definitely recommend laying a protective film over the screen to prevent this. My other gripe in general with the Q3HD was the quality and design of the D-pad. The operation of the D-pad is really spongy, and it would sometimes take more than one try to input a command. I think that the D-pad could also benefit from having a bit more distance surrounding the record button. The left and right D-pad functions as the zoom for the camera. Unless you're really careful and basically use your fingertips for these buttons, you stand the chance of accidentally hitting the record button when you try to zoom, which will stop the recording. When I was shooting some live performances and testing the zoom of the camera, this actually happened to me. Alright, so moving on to navigation. The navigation is pretty straightforward on the Q3HD. Accessing the menu allows you to make all of the tweaks to the video and audio settings. You do have a lot of options for recording though, and some might get confused at the different audio options you have to choose from. Things like PCM versus AAC, sample rates, bitrate, etc. In respect to the whole AAC and PCM thing, think of it almost like MP3 versus FLAC. PCM is uncompressed audio and gives you more options when you choose it, but your available recording time decreases drastically when going with this. So when I recorded my shots, I simply chose AAC at 48 kHz and 320 kilobytes per second, which is basically like a maxed out MP3 format. That's probably the only confusing part about the Q3HD when you're setting the settings, since it has so many audio options. But I think that those who care enough about audio enough to purchase this video recorder will have somewhat of a technical competency, and I don't think it'll be a problem for them. Moving on to battery life, the Q3 HD runs on AA batteries, which one can consider a good thing or a bad thing. The good part of AA's is the universal factor. When you have a camera with a brick battery, wherever you're shooting for the day, when that battery goes, it requires a recharge. Ways around this include additional batteries or battery grips that you can pop AA's into. These are used in DSLRs, or having a camera with AA batteries. When you have a camera with AA batteries, when they run out, you can go to virtually any store in the world and get a pack. That is, if you didn't already bring a pack with you already. The bad news about AA's is that normal alkaline batteries don't hold a candle to lithium-ion batteries when it comes to battery life. This is a problem that you face with a Q3 HD out of the box, but it's not really that terrible. With a 320K audio option, 720p at 30 frames per second video, you're able to get about 40 minutes off of a 2GB card, which is included with the Q3 HD. Alkaline batteries will last you just about this length of time. After that, you're going to need to pop in a fresh pair. Besides bringing a 4-pack of AA's along with you on your shoots, I would recommend springing for a set of lithium-ion rechargeable AA's, preferably Sanyo Eneloops. You now have the performance of brick batteries and then the universality of AA's. Another option for long shots that can't afford an interruption would be purchasing the Zoom Q3 HD accessory pack, which includes a DC adapter which simply lets you plug in the Q3 HD in the wall and shoot continuously for as long as you have power. Alright, now onto the meat of the camera. Let's start off with video first. Video on the Q3 HD is what you would expect from a flip style video recorder. The Q3 HD offers full 1080p at 30 frames per second, and you can go up to 60 frames per second for the 720p option, but then you have a couple more options as well. From a pure video quality stance, I'd place the Q3 HD right in the middle of the Flip cameras and the Kodak ZI-8. Flip loses to both cameras because they're limited to 720p, they don't have image stabilization, they're limited in how much you can record on them, they don't have any line-in jacks, I could go on and on. The Q3 HD and the ZI-8 are on pretty comparable ground, but you have to give it to the ZI-8 for image stabilization. When you walk around with these smaller video recorders, the lack of image stabilization can be evident. That being said, the video quality of the Q3 HD is still really good for its class. I know I couldn't expect the same quality I would for my DSLR's video, but the Q3 HD's portability and audio quality help even things out. When I researched this camera online, I saw that many would use the Q3 HD as a secondary camera and the primary audio track. So if you happen to have a video recorder already, let's say an HD Handycam or a DSLR, and you're considering the H4n, you can consider this. If you purchase the Q3 HD, you could set it on a tripod and film a second angle with high fidelity audio and walk around with your primary video recorder, edit them together, and then you have two camera angles for your video and the high fidelity audio. The Q3 HD has a fixed lens with a 4x digital zoom. The zoom is pretty much worthless. When you have digital zoom, you're just cropping and enlarging the center of your frame. This results in a pixelated video. The quality loss paired with the fact that you might accidentally stop the recording by zooming, I would recommend just digitally zooming during post-processing if you're going to do it at all. At least that way you can have the full frame when you're starting out and you can decide if you want to really zoom when you're editing and you're sitting down and you can consider it. Alright, let's move on to the real bread and butter of the Q3 HD, the audio. The audio quality of the Q3 HD is simply put amazing. With any camera, there are sort of optimal conditions that you can follow. Like, pretty much any camera can perform well in daylight. It's when you start testing their limits with low light conditions and high ISOs where you can separate the men from the boys, so to speak. It's the same with audio. I mean, yeah, if you have no background noise and you have the right level sound, many video cameras can sound good. But if you try taking these cameras to a concert or somewhere with high levels of audio, this is where the Q3 HD separates from the rest of the pack. The more difficult situations I put the Q3 HD in, the wider the gap between it and other cameras was. For general use, the audio performs really well, but keep in mind this isn't like a shotgun microphone, so it can still pick up ambient noise. After reviewing the outside footage as well, you can notice that the Q3 HD can really benefit from the windscreen you find in the Q3 HD accessory pack from Zoom. Where I was most impressed with the Q3 HD audio-wise was when shooting music. When I first saw the Q3 HD online, I saw a YouTube video where Samson basically set up a Q3 HD at a Megadeth concert and recorded them playing. There's a lot of comments on there that basically say like, I don't believe this is too good, and I was sort of one of those skeptics. So what I did is I took the Q3 HD, and to test its performance in music, I filmed my friend's band In Harm's Way during a practice of theirs. At this practice, the band members were wearing earplugs and I had noise-canceling headphones on. It was a super loud room. Listening back to the clips that I shot, the music came through crystal clear and it was at good levels on the Q3 HD. The only thing I can say that wasn't perfect was the bass, but I think that was because I was right next to the bassist. In a concert setting with more space, I'm sure the bass would be more present. In the clips you see as well, you might notice that the vocals are kind of soft, but that's how it was when I was actually there, so it's more of the fault of the amplifier or the microphone it was hooked up to or whatever levels they set it to. But the Q3 HD just recorded as it heard it. After you've taken your videos, you can flip the Q3 HD on its side and hit the playback button and review them. The Q3 HD has a 2.4 LCD screen and a small speaker for this. However, the 2.4 screen is a 320 by 240 resolution, which is really low, and the speaker is about the same sound quality you'd find in any digital camera for playback, so playback is nothing special here. Thankfully, you can listen to playback through headphones on the Q3 HD. If you're going to be shooting with this, I would definitely recommend bringing a set of headphones or earbuds so you can monitor when you shoot, or if you can review after you shoot, because if you're just using the speaker, you aren't going to get a correct representation of the audio. So after it's all said and done, I've got to say I'm a huge fan of the Q3 HD. While it has some of the limitations that the flip class video recorders have, pretty much any kind of situation you can throw at the Q3 HD, it performs admirably. It may seem like a costly product, but considering the quality audio you're getting, as well as the 1080p video, you're getting quite a nice all-in-one bundle. You'd end up at around the same price or over the price of the Q3 HD costs if you were to get a flip or a Kodak or a Sony camera, and if you were to put a high quality microphone on that camera. And with that solution, you'd end up having a contraption you'd have to fuss with every single time you'd want to record with good audio. You have the option to use different microphones on the Q3 HD, like the lavaliers or shotgun microphones, etc., or just go with the integrated, super high quality XY microphones. I see this as a great investment for many uses. I mean, maybe you're looking to get into making YouTube videos as well. Maybe you're looking to shoot concerts, or maybe you're just looking to shoot your kid's recital or play. All these are handled great by the Q3 HD. I mean, I did have a few quirks with it, but none of them were even close to being a deal breaker when you compare the camera to others in its class. To put it simply, if you're looking for a portable or convenient solution for video recording needs, and not only do you not want to sacrifice quality, but you'll have better quality audio than cameras 5 times the price, I would definitely check out the Samson Q3 HD. Alright, so that'll do it for my video review of the Zoom Q3 HD video recorder. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button down below, and if you really like this video, please hit the favorite button as it really does help me out. And if you have any questions or comments on the Q3 HD, feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And if you'd like to stay in touch with me and keep in touch with my reviews and everything, there are 2 ways that you can do that. One is by liking me on Facebook at facebook.com/mlgsteggy, and the second is following me on Twitter at twitter.com/mlgsteggy. So, once again, this is Steggy with a review of the Zoom Q3 HD video recorder, and until my next video, I will catch you guys later.